If I'm on, just bear with me, people, 2 seconds, please. Right, we're on. How are these people? He's all right. So, give me a minute just to sort this out. Got a few things here I just want to speak about. Just bear with me to get myself together. Last minute rush as usual. Hello to everybody if you're there in chat. Right, the first thing I'm going to talk about is association. Seeing some of the tactics, there's a very good reason, right, why I was strong in my stance about no associating with people, no bridging out and offering another platform for the people. That doesn't mean that what I'm going to say here implies that anybody's wrong or I'm against anybody. But when you have this continued tactic, we'll call it, of trying to associate and trying to, you know, paint people in a bad light. The other point that I was strongly making with people was that, you know, this question, this objective question about the world that we live in, stands alone away from any other subject, right? And that is what I have always pushed. And here at this platform, that is what the message is. I don't delve into other subjects. Other people can have curiosity about whatever they like, but for me, none of that even matters. History and all these types of psychological traps, I'll call them, are fucking pointless. They are exactly that, they're psychological traps. If it is not within your direct experience, it is fucking meaningless to you. So whatever happened 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70, 100, you will never get full closure on any of it because you were not there. It's not your direct experience and it's a total fucking nonsense. Right? For me, that is part of the game. Part of the game is to make you think that it's relevant, that you should be looking at history and tying yourself to situations that were nothing to do with you. Right? The same as anything, beliefs, you know, and it just comes into the realm of belief for me because it's all hearsay, second-hand information, and for me that is useless to my individual experience. Right? The point, the reason why I'm saying it is because of Eric's last couple of videos and people trying to build association. Now, Eric stands as him. He does what he wants to do. He gets involved with whatever he likes. Right? There is no team here. The whole point of this is to say that I say to people is there is no leaders. There is no, you know, and the more that I see this in people, it tells me something about them. When you get these people who are pointing and going, hey, Eric shouldn't be doing this, and it's bad for the movement, it's bad for the movement. Well, you're saying to yourself that he is some sort of leader then, that he is responsible for the whole thing. Right? That's just totally ridiculous. You know, we're meant to be standing on our own 2 feet. Right? If what I represent resonates with you, then you will go to that. If what somebody else says resonates with you, people are going to go with that. Right? I'm always going to say that though. These subjects about history and whatever else went on and pointing the finger and blaming, that's just not my game. I'm not interested in that. For me, it's, you know, Let's learn the lessons, take responsibility for ourselves and move forward and discover where we actually are. All these things that happened have happened. It's pointless us going over and over and over. You're not going to get justice. You're not going to get any closure. It's a fucking rabbit hole. But this is part of the manipulative tactics, which is what I was aware of. I knew their games and why I was so strong and no building association with anybody. Now, if people mirror my content, that's no my problem. If somebody comes on here as a guest, then they're on as a guest just to share conversation. They don't represent me and I don't represent them, right? It's, you know, a simple analogy is, as I said to Marshall earlier, you know, somebody who spoke to Ted Bundy in the street 40 years ago, because they spoke to Ted Bundy, they're obviously, you know, a serial killer. I mean, it's that kind of idiotic logic, right? So again, if you're sitting there, and I know there's clever people here who obviously, you know, this isn't aimed at, if you're sitting there waiting for somebody to represent you or to represent the whole, you're just not getting it, right? We need everybody standing up. And again, me, I'm not a fucking celebrity. I'm not any personality. You know, I got a message for Martin earlier, you know, saying, sorry, I get jealous because you have what I wanted. And this is the thing. What is it that you think I've got? Huh? Do you think I'm sitting here waiting for, oh, my Parkinson fucking contract, and oh, I'm going to appear in Saturday Night fucking Live, and I'm going to be this fucking celebrity in the new paradigm and all this fucking nonsense? I mean, what is going on in people's minds? I'm not in this to perpetuate the same old fucking crap. This isn't about being popular or a celebrity. What should be popular is the truth, the message. That's what I've always pushed. It's not about me or any other personality. And if you're focusing on the personality, you need to have a fucking word with yourself. Right? You need to, if you're going to look at somebody to carry the truth, then you better choose wisely. Right? And look at people who are really responsible with the truth. I mean, this stuff is fucking boring me to fucking tears now. It's like people just don't really get it. They think that this is some sort of counterculture, some trendy thing that you can ride the wave on. That might be true, but the end up of that isn't, you know, the same old, same old. Let's have BAFTAs. Who was the best flat earther? Who done the most? Who done this? They get an award for that, they get an award for that. Is that what's running through people's mind? Because that's what I'm actually seeing. That's what that's fueling you. Celebrityism. Everybody, you know, Eric, everybody else who's been involved has had something to offer, right? And they are entitled to be who they are, right? They are entitled to exist the same as I'm entitled to exist. I set my stall out, people come to it. I don't force them. And it's the same for these people. They set their stall out, they're not forcing anybody. People go and they eat for that stall. So choose your stall fucking wisely. And if you don't agree with certain things, point it out and articulate why that is. For me, it was hugely important, because a lot of these subjects are touchy with people. They can be enough to throw people off, to think that you're just, you know, crazy, or it's just too much for them to delve into. That's why I was so strong in saying, look, you know, for me, I look at these other subjects, I have an interest in them, but this one that I've taken a part in, I'm going to represent that the best I can. And I know, and anybody who's wise enough should know this, that attaching other subjects to it, especially red hot poker ones, is not going to do it justice, especially when you're wise enough to know that this one particular conspiracy, whatever you like to call it, is enough. And even if it was to go widespread, all these other subjects, wars, whoever, whatever it is, you're still not going to get closure, right? You might titillate your imagination and get some sort of satisfaction from your curiosity, but you're never going to have gained anything because it's not your experience. You don't live 100 years ago, 40 years ago, 10 years ago. You live now. And it's what's happening right now that's important. That, as I say, that was my stance from the beginning. And people used to say, oh, you're defending this crowd or that crowd or that crowd. No, 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 you're missing the point. You're missing the point. Everybody has a right to put their stall out, regardless if they're CIA agents or fucking no. Pointing the finger at people and saying it is just pointless. Right? You need to be smart enough to recognise what it is you're actually looking for and go there. You don't have to point the finger. If nobody goes to a shop and buys the product, the shop shuts down because there's no point in being there. Right? So, I have my stance on all this stuff. You know, before it was the trees and the fucking whatever else, whatever other subject could be lumped in with this one in order to try and bring some discredit to it or confusion. If you get it, you know, you really need to have a zero tolerance for it. It is true. You have to be realistic with it. People are emotional. They react on emotional impulse. And if they've had programming, things like Holocaust and what it means and the emotional burden and the heaviness that goes with it, right? Just for that to be in amongst it or anything controversial, because people want to be accepted within their communities and their families, they're going to give it a wide berth. And it's enough for them just to switch off and say, ah, it's just fucking crazy people. Right? The other aspect is this militant shit. I covered it a wee bit the other day. I do not advocate any violence or aggression towards anybody. This is not about hanging anybody in the street. This is about, as I say, is taking responsibility from this moment on, realising we'd be fucking idiots and taking it forward without wasting time and bringing about unnecessary drama that's just going to slow it down by pointing the finger and looking at people for people to blame. I knew that. I was smart enough to know that then. I don't know why people aren't smart enough to know it now, especially people who are saying they've been involved in the truth for so long. You should know how this works. And this is it. People talk about, you're not allowed to speak about anything else. You're not allowed to. You're allowed to speak about whatever you like. But for me, I'm passionate about this one subject and I represent this one subject. So I'm going to defend it. And I'm going to out any of the shit that comes along with it. Right? Go and look at other people who deal with chemtrails. Go and look at other people who deal with other conspiracies. That's not what happens here. I focus solely on this. People have a tendency to do the David Icke thing. The tapestry, sewing it all together and making a big fucking puzzle. Right? That's not anybody's responsibility. You know, and again, it's not your direct experience. The beauty about this question is that it's your direct experience. You can have progress and closure on it if you stick to your fucking guns. The more you appease these people in these games that go on, the harder it's going to get. Right? Now, we're backing them into corners. The frayed ends are starting to show. They're threatening me. They're threatening my children. They're inboxing my children on Facebook. They're sending derogatory, vile messages to my partner. You know, they are really starting to show how desperate they are. Right? And that's where my satisfaction and joy is. That's where I want to keep digging. Because the rest of it comes tumbling down. Right? It's about changing what we've always had. It's not about, you know, oh, we're going to overpower the fucking government and then the flat earthers pile in. You know, this is why these things all fall apart, is because this idea of community with people. You need the individuals. As soon as you get a community and you start pointing at leaders and blah, 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 and giving a hierarchy, that's when all the corruption and all the shit starts to happen. No hierarchy. Right? Anything to do with the public arena should be based on empirical facts, and anybody who fucking wanders for that should be removed. It's as simple as that. It was the mad rush, so you just need to bear with me. I get my bearings and what I'm actually talking about here, because the community things. Communities are fine with individuals. People who can stand on their own 2 feet and critically think. As soon as you start implementing a hierarchy in a community, you have problems. And I have got a fucking beam about it, and I always have done, about idolising and hero worshipping. It always gave me the heebie-jeebies, made my skin crawl. Right? No hierarchy, you know. Oh, such and such is a fucking noise. I'm the best guitar player in the world. Fuck off. You know, that type of mentality that holds people to these standards and what other people do. Right? That needs to be different in this. My whole point is, you know, I'm respectful of everybody. I say it so many times. Everybody has a right to exist. Right? They're free to do what they want. My problem is when you get clowns and maybe manipulative people who don't realise they're being manipulative, trying to associate as if I've got something to answer for because of something that somebody else has done. Right? That's fucking childish crap. Hang on. This phone is going now or not. If you're listening, I'll get to the text messages once I'm finished rambling here and going through these points. I just want to make sure they're clear. Right? And I'll go back to the militant stuff. No aggression. You shouldn't be aggressive towards anybody. Right? This question, the objective question about the world that we all share, can only be discussed. If you find yourself in a situation of getting frustrated and irate, you're trying to convince people, step away. You don't need to convince anybody. I don't want to convince people into this. I want people to come to it on their own. If I can plant a seed and walk away and they come to it on their own, that's the best I can do. Right? I don't want people clinging on apron strings, waiting for you to make a move or you to see what's happening next. So, as I say, this subject stands on its own. You have to have the ability to separate them and stop this tapestry of fucking sewing them all together. Right? For me, there's been so much deliberate lies and programming and manipulation in people's minds. They have people operating on an emotional level and giving emotional responses and reactions. It's highly irresponsible when you know the importance of this for you to throw these things in there. That's just what I think. Again, respect to everybody and each to their own. And if anybody doubts that, I suggest you go back to the very first videos and you listen to what I said then, and then continue through, and the message has always been the same. The stance is never going to fucking change. All I care about, right, in regards to this question is finding out who I am, why I'm here, how the fuck I got here, and where it is I actually am. And in order to answer them, the first thing I need to establish is where is it I am. I need some sort of bearing. I just want to make sure, is there anybody, Marshall, you there? No?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Have I covered the things that we talked about earlier?
Yeah, pretty much, man. Pretty much. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's, you know, while we're on the serious end of it, yeah, that's pretty much covered. I mean, there was a few other things we'll talk about a bit later, I expect. One request for a link, and Martin would like to join at some point, if that's cool.
Well, not right now, you know, just to make sure I get through these points and stuff. But aye, the links can go out shortly.
Okay.
That reminds me, you know, as I say about idolising and this hierarchy and waiting for people, the same applies here with me. I am no anybody's leader. This isn't a militant movement or an organisation. I'm just a real guy who got involved with this, wanted to represent the truth, seen the games that were being played, and thought, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to roll my sleeves up and I'm going to dig in and get involved in it. Right? And that is it. So, if you recognise me as representing truth, that's all I'm interested in. If you look at me as somebody who's responsible and who can represent this subject, that's fine. Right? If you're here for entertainment purposes, well, whatever. You know, that's your problem. And these comments come in, you're not a physicist, you're not a fucking me. You tell me and show me where it is written that you need qualifications in order to assess the world you're living in. Huh? That is not a refutation on anything. What's your qualifications? Way to avoid the actual point in the subject. You know? I'll maybe get to reading some of these comments out. As I say, you know, let these clowns eat themselves up. They're the ones who are resorting to dirty tactics. Messaging your missus and your kids. Making threats about social services and all this fucking crap. Right? You phone whoever the fuck you like. My kids are taught critical thought. Always will be. Make your own decisions. Point out to my child or my children the natural physics of an element abundant within our reality. What would you prefer I told them? Oh, it rapturing Boz. When that is a blatant fucking lie. Right? So the cult don't like it, so they have to resort to these tactics. And as the net tightens in, you will see this cult rear its ugly features more and more. Right? It's been creeping in slowly but surely for the last year. And now they're getting to that point where they're going to show their ugliness. What I suggest to people is that you pay absolutely no fucking attention to it. It's all about getting you to emotionally react. That if they can emotionally sway you enough, make you feel the burden and the guilt and the worry, you know, that's enough for some people to just leave it alone. It's not going to work here. You know? But they will try it. So we'll wait and see. They're going to bring on the actual violence next. And that shows you that there's a cult that's got something to defend. And these people who are part of that cult ignore the continued statements of it is not a debate. There is no us against you. There is no two sides of the fence. It's about the objective truth. There only is one. No two avenues. The fact that we've got this side coming in and showing what they're showing tells you that they're part of a cult, right? Because they have something to defend. Right? And they're attacking me and associating me and putting labels on me that I'm in another camp with something to defend when I don't have anything to defend. I do not know where I am. It has been stated numerous times over and over again. The claim that was made to me is false. There is no proof for it. The proof tells me something different. It's an ongoing investigation. We need more people involved in it so that we can establish what the actual reality is. So that's science. Science is an ongoing investigation. Science is the ability to stand still and say, we don't know, but we're going to look, we're going to progress, and we're going to keep going. Culty religions want to tell you they've got it all figured out, and anybody who wanders from it is a fucking crackpot. That's no scientific, that's no natural science, that's no common sense, that's no logic. That is religious bumf, religious hogwash, spewed from the disciples' mouth in desperation to keep the wealth and the control through their religion. The activism, me being me, you know, I just do these things, not thinking that it's a bank holiday. But the point is showing people, look, I don't care, I will walk right into these establishment places and ask the questions. The point of me doing any of these exercises is to maybe inspire people and to show them that there's nothing to fear. It's no Dale's doing it, so we'll just let Dale go on with it. You know, and we'll sit back and watch Dale do it. Because Dale's not interested in doing it continually over and over again. If I can find other avenues in order to progress or push it in a different direction, then I will. Oh, you could have emailed them, you could have sent a letter and it wouldn't get it ignored. Sending emails just get ignored if it's something I'm not interested in. I wanted to document the fact that I'm walking into these places and taking it to them. Because it's not going to go away. And if anybody's going to be asked about it, or on a radio or fucking anything, then I would prefer it was me. Right? Because I'm not going to add shite to it. I'm not going to sit there making out that it's a debate and wander down stupid paths. No, I'm going to cut right to the fucking shtick. Without any added on drivel. And tell it exactly how it is. But it's that real truth that is feared that is the problem. So that's why the attention comes here. And all this crap about threatening your kids and your fucking missus and all that shit. Right? So don't wait for me. If you're serious about it and you're concerned even about me and my situation, I suggest that you get involved. But you get involved with manners and respect and no militant behaviour. I'm not going to associate with anybody who comes with any militant behaviour or aggression. You know, going to all these other channels and behaving the way they come here and behave, you're not doing this a service at all. Any justice. They need your attention. They message me, they make videos about me because they want my attention, because they want me to give them that focus so that other people's focus is then on them, and then you make them relevant. I've said that so many times, these people are irrelevant. This is a discussion for adults with a critical, reasoning, logical mind. And it's only a discussion, you know. That's been the whole thing for the last 2.5 years, whatever it's been. You know, the truth is just repetitive and repetitive and repetitive because you can't wander away from it. Right? Once you realise it and you know what it is, that's it. You can only keep repeating it. But it's a fact that it has to be repeated. And maybe people aren't paying attention, but when I see these actions going on, I'm going to have to keep coming and repeating to counter it. And to repeat this stance here over and over again. So, I was going to give some props to people who have been sending in stuff. That's the other thing, the activism videos. You know, if you want to send them in, fair enough. If people don't use it, it'll just get shut down the same as anything else. It's there for people who don't have a channel or don't want to make a channel. It's just an easy avenue for you to show a wee bit of your activism or whatever you're doing, and we will upload it to it. So again, if you want to email, it's nocurve@gmx.com. If you want to send a message or phone in, it is 07393 654 544. The only thing I do here is reiterate the stance that is at this platform and moderate, you know, open this up for people to come in to share and to show who they are. That's it. Some of the props, who did I see earlier? Harry Growler done a cracking wee vid with the coins. Just looking at the comments. Sorry, Marshall, you want to pipe in there with that?
Well, yeah, I mean, Plain Ranger's been batting it out there, mate. He's doing some activism at, which I think is a good call. You know, spots that are heavily trafficked by sightseers. You know,
yeah,
and I don't think it hurts to leave a message for them. You know, I sent another one through today, which is also up on the Activism Mirror channel. The props there. And there was somebody else earlier on that I didn't take a note of as well. So my apologies there.
We'll get a note, and that's the thing. People, you know, I get so many comments and messages, and it's difficult to keep up. I've got other things going on in my life, and I don't have a fucking secretary. So I hope that people's noses don't go out of joint thinking that they're being ignored. I can assure you that nobody's being ignored. Sometimes if you just, you know, repeat and message again, then eventually I'll get it. I just want to read out this wee comment that I seen coming up. Oops, wait a wee second. And hello everybody and people in chat. I'm going to come to that in a wee second here. It was one that came up a minute ago, and it was from Trev Dawson. People comment on "you're a hard man" appearance. We all have free will and so are able to choose what nature has given us to better our own situation and that of others. I'm pleased to see you doing just that, and this video and the last one with your son shows your character. Thanks, Dale. Love and peace. Appreciate that, Trevor, or Trev. That people can see what's real and who's genuine, you know, and all that illogical crap. I mean, are people in this day and age really that fucking shallow that an appearance makes their perception, you know? If you're that easily influenced and swayed, then, you know, you've not looked at any of the programming in your mind whatsoever. So I really can't help anybody, you know. And again, it's just these fucking sock accounts that push that crap, trying to convince people. They think if they say it enough times, people will be convinced by it. It's pathetic. And I see there's loads of other comments there. I'll get to responding to them. There's so many now. Messages. Hi Dale, Kai from Brighton. We accept that a nucleus in an atom exists. It's been tested and repeated, etc. Gold foil experiment, yet nobody has ever seen a nucleus in an atom. So do we take it as a fact or not? It's difficult. Well, it depends, you know, what are the mechanisms and the mechanics of the device you're actually using. The fact that if you're saying that it is an actual device that you're using means that it's based in actual reality. You know, it's something that is tangible and applied. You know? So this, again, this is this whole, oh, right, so because you can't see air, it doesn't exist. No, air is tangible, right? It's when it starts getting into realms of not being tangible that we've got a fucking issue, right? Or when they start, oh, I need a planet, I can't show you any of this stuff because this planet gets in the road yet, therefore I need another planet. That's not scientific, that's a religious excuse. So, all that stuff is so fucking boring now, you know? Hi Adele, a fellow truth seeker here. I want to know why they're hiding the flat earth too. thanks for all the videos, my man. Kelvin from Hoyk, Scottish Borders. Thank you very much, Kelvin. That's it. You know, it's why the lie? What is it they're actually hiding? And that was one of the other props. You know, it's something that I've talked about before, and it was Wakey had done a good wee video talking about the funds and where they might be going, and are they maybe building in some other pond or whatever, which is an interesting avenue of thought and contemplation. And it also brings me back to the whole evolutionary explanation, the Darwinian, neo-Darwinian explanation of life and its origins. And obviously, you know, for people like me, it's total fucking fairy tales. You know, it's not based in actual, you know, observed reality. So it leaves you wondering, how come these races came to be? I mean, we could postulate a couple of things. We could postulate that there's this, you know, carefree, mischievous, singular God who's making, you know, black man, right, fuck it, I'll put him through the door. And then he makes Chinese man, he fucks him through the door. And then white man, I'll fuck him through the door. Ginger man, I'll fuck him through. And he's opening his wee door and throwing them in. And that's where all the races come from. Or there's a bigger explanation, something that's been going on a lot longer. And maybe the races come from different ponds. I mean, I've contemplated that many times. You know, trying to rationalise and come up with, you know, why nature is the way it is. It's taken me down the avenues of thought that maybe there's some fucking about going on where we'll take two from that, you know, the Noah. I've said this before. We'll take two from that pond and two from that pond and this, and then we'll put them all here and we'll see what happens. It's a possibility. But that was an interesting wee video in regards to where the money is and, you know, who's responsible for it and where it is actually going, because it's an incredible amount. I've seen somebody there that's just come up in the chat about the ginger men. And I contemplated that as well. You know, is psychopathy more prominent in gingers? You know, there's that whole question. Is there an infiltration from some other pond, some other place? Were they ginger-haired? Were they whatever race? You know, I have all these postulations and questions. Again, I'm only expressing them here because people think that I don't question. I'm just this robot that thinks about one thing. I have many questions. I've played with philosophy. I get involved in the mind-body philosophies, you know, creationism, evolution, all these branches that I delved into deeply through the years. But I know that there are rabbit holes. I know that there is no closure there for me. When you come to this question and this question that stands alone, you know, that can take me to answering these big questions. Because for me, that's really what people are interested in. Who, where, why, what, you know, in regards to us. So, I do consider possibilities and different avenues of thought, but I understand that the rabbit holes. And the beauty about this one is that it's my direct experience and it's the same for every one of you. So that's why it's important for everybody to stand on their own 2 feet, to throw in your 2 pence worth, document, upload, be active. That's why I'm opening up the other channel, just to pile everybody's activism in there who doesn't have a channel or a recognised channel. I'm just trying to lend support to the common man. That's it. And I can sit here and moderate and represent the truth the best that I can. Messages still. There's quite a few here, so bear with me in chat and I'll get to chat. What happened to your show if Antonio Subirats? Eh? I don't get what that means. What happened to your show of? I've never had a show of Antonio Subirats, so whoever is sending that message, I have no idea what you're talking about. Who's this? Mate, I'm fully behind. You're a good bloke, mate. I really appreciate what you're saying, mate. Helps me keep my mind together. Whoever that is, thank you very much. I'm looking through, but I can't see a name. Hello, been doing my own due diligence for the last 6 months. Definitely no round. Means it's not a sphere. Love your channel. Keep up the good work. Nez. Thank you very much, Nez. Hi Adele, if you have a chance, can you get a video of the sun and moon in the sky at the same time? I have tried with my phone, but it's not good enough. I took a video today actually. Magumba, Surety Boy, texted me saying about the sun being out at such an early time. So I've looked at it, and the sun is directly here, not far away from it, but it's the underside that's shadowed or missing. Again, it's just an anomaly, another flaw in the heliocentric crap. And I see them misrepresent me, saying, "Oh, I don't know what moon phases are." My point about the moon when I made this particular point was, if the sun has left 2.5 hours ago and the moon arrives in my sky on the opposite side at my eye level, fully lit or in phase, then that doesn't work because it's not in the direct line of sight for the sun. That was the point. And again, people maybe wonder why I don't go through the NASA footage or any of these other things that are going on and highlight it and make videos about it. And it's because there's other people who do that. You know, I have satisfied myself. It's no like, oh, I need to sit and be convinced anymore. It's like, I'm out active trying to push this forward and get it recognised and get the larger, the wider populace to look at it. You know? I don't think anybody's in doubt here that there is something to answer. With the sun just off to the left, that's exactly what I've just spoke about. How can our shadow be covering the moon, but it's not the Earth that's meant to be causing the shadow in the moon phases? And if anybody misunderstands that, they don't claim that it's the Earth that causes the moon phases. But just their explanation of the moon phases is bollocks based on the observations. But I need to reiterate that they're not claiming that it's the Earth getting in the road. That's an eclipse they're talking about. I'm in Rhynie in Scotland. It's 5:15, Wednesday the 3rd of May, and both the sun and moon are visible and high in the sky. Yeah, and if you look at that and you look at the phase that the moon was in and the angle it was at, it just doesn't add up. It's nonsense. Evening Dale, Kev here, Lincolnshire. What do you think it is that makes us more open to the truth and seeing reality more than others? Less acceptable of the programming? ? Was a heated debate with 6 friends at the weekend and they just couldn't see it. Great work you're doing, my friend. Well, to be honest with you, I don't know what it is, but I have always had that, even as a kid, and I'm sure many of you would remember it. It's not just me that's saying this. I used to question and go, why are the other kids no wondering what's going on here and where we are, why we are? Maybe, you know, some emotional baggage from my background is what triggers it. I've spoken about that before as well. Maybe we're not meant to contemplate and become self-aware. Who knows? Maybe that's what the problem is. I don't know. I'm still working it out. So I don't think there's anything, you know, divinely different about any of us, and I would never claim to even state anything like that. But I know that I've always had questions like this and wondered why other people around about me never had the questions. As I say, it could just be, you know, what went on in your childhood, your circumstances. There could be loads of different reasons and scenarios. Just enjoyed your video when you approached the BBC. Here in the Northwest, we have a BBC phone-in between 10 PM and 1 AM. If you are interested in having your say on air, Dale, I can give you the phone number. They will ring you back though, Dale, so it won't cost you. Only the initial call. The number to call is blah, blah, blah. We'd love to hear you give them some proper science on the Earth, etc. Please let me know if you're interested. Cheers, Tony. Tony, aye, you know, I'll be pursuing that if there's a phone in. I'm all for it. You know, I will pursue these avenues, but my main avenue is to get things on camera, to get people who want to represent the globe or think that they can represent the globe or believe it or whatever, what if they think they're a scientist. I want them on camera, face to face, so that there's no any tittle tattle and he and shouting over the top and cutting you off and trying to make a mockery. You know, I want to cut off as many angles of that as possible. So my push is to try and get anybody on camera that I can. And I've been requesting it for 2 years, and I'll request it again. If you are in Scotland or anywhere, we are willing to travel. If you are willing to go on camera in proper conditions to represent your globe or whatever claim you would like to, then please do so. Let us know and we will be there. We will come to you at your convenience so that it is no cost to you. Right? Can't make it any fairer than that. And Mikey Shaw, I'm going to read out something that Mikey had messaged me. I think he messaged me on the phone, but it was through YouTube. Bear with me. In fact, I'm going to need to go to Facebook just to have a wee look at this. OS is a government agent acting on our behalf, and it's duty bound to answer any reasonable questions regarding the boundaries of where we reside. This is a topic that cannot be ignored by them if approached both mathematically and coherently. They are duty bound to answer all questions you have regarding your borders. We need to get this message across on your channel if possible, as I only have 200 friends. Well, I've said it, Mikey, so I just read the rest here, make sure I've got it all here. The Ordnance Survey. Yeah. So, Mikey, if you're listening, I've shared that, and if anybody wants to speak to Mikey, it's Mikey Short. You'll get him on Facebook. I think I've got one message here again. Reality is based on people's perception. One person will perceive something completely different to another. Each one is correct to them based on how they see it. If you use science as you do, then the only observation you can make is where we are is a lie. Everything is if you examine the evidence. You cannot find truth in asking the untruthful. We are in Neverland whilst in this system. Eventually you will be answered, but by who? The people that you know to be untruthful. If people want to change, then we need to start again. The system in place is not designed for what you want. All I know is everything is bullshit, and the best truth I know is I don't know. I've thrown everything out, and that feels like the truth to me. I can now put this system to bed and look at what is right in front of me and observe what I want, what is real, and enjoy it. P.S. I enjoy your videos. If you're ever down south, give me a shout. Hope this finds you well. Luke, thank you very much, Luke. The only thing I'm going to say about that is this, because I've had this a few times, reality is based on people's perceptions. The people get confused with this because of this new age spiritual fucking bump, right? Your perceptions of the objective reality are subjective. How you interpret things, what you like, what you don't like, what smells good, what doesn't smell good, what's good to you, what's evil to you. These are all subjective, right? The objective reality doesn't matter. It doesn't care about any of that, right? And the point I need to reiterate and make to people is does an animal or any victim that, you know, doesn't see a bullet coming, has no perception of it, or a newborn mind who's involved in an accident or a car crash or whatever it is, by that kind of reckoning, because they don't have any preconceptions, you know, if they built their reality to say, well, that's solid, that's going to crush my skull. No, their skull will be crushed, because there is an objective truth, there is an objective reality that you are subject to, right? And your interpretation of it and how you feel and all your emotions, that's your subjective experience of it. But there is an objective reality. Now, if you want to refute it, you're never going to refute it. I will call you John. John, you know, I'm no John, I'm Dale. John was the guy who's got his other channel called John Smith. John came with me and helped me out with the filming, with the early stuff. John does his own thing, pursues his own avenue of activism and gets involved and does his own thing. So just to let you know, I'm no John. John is John, I'm Dale. You know that you were going to get these sinister cunts. Fuck them. You got support more than they have. You got the truth. God made you for this. You got devil's attention. Watch, but you strong Scots guy. Fuck them. You got me if you want. I appreciate the support, man. And we are going to get these people and these manipulators and players. You know, and I hear this, you know, about your gods, this and gods and devils, and well, you know, all that may very well be true, right? But even if it was true, it's irrelevant to me right now. The only thing that's relevant to me right now is to keep focused on what's important, and for me, it's the whole game. As I say, it's to keep you mentally and physically restrained and constricted, no exploring, no being expressive, no having free thought. But the main thing is not having free exploration, the ability to just go wherever you like. Right? They don't want that in the physical, and they don't want that in the mental. That's why they have all these programs, these religions, these nonsense, new age spiritual stuffs and distractions left, right and centre. Because they want to keep you running your own mind within. Look within, you will find the answers. You're not going to fucking find anything. You'll find answers in regards to where you're lying to yourself and where the programming lies. And as that chap pointed out, you know, when you let go of all that stuff and things that you think you know, you'll feel better. Right? So you can go internal and have an internal journey. But the progress is not going to be made by anybody sitting in a lotus position and claiming they're calm all the time and they don't get angry and aggressive. Right? And they send out spiritual love and oneness to all. All this fucking crap. Right? We need to get up off our asses. We need to be individuals. We don't all like each other, but we need to have a common goal. What's the common goal? To establish where we are. Why do we want to establish where we are? Because it might take us a bit closer to who we are, why we're here, and what the whole shebang's about. Because right now we're in the dark and bewilderment. And people are fighting and arguing with each other about their subjective wishes and spouting things that they think they know and they know nothing about. So, is it getting dark now? Am I visible or am I not? No,
Barely visible, Dal, you know.
People, you need to bear with me. I just need to go and grab myself a drink. Marshall, you'll need to be in that awkward position, mate.
Yeah, cheers for that, man. Well, good evening, people. Bit of a slow uptake on anybody that wanted to join the platform this evening. I'm sure you've all got lots to say in the chat. You don't want to make any public statement about anything. Martin, if you're still here, the floor will open up in a minute. I'm sure you've got something to say at least. I've got some mails come in that I'll have to respond to afterwards, linking me to videos and stuff. Obviously, I can't screen that while I'm being attentive here. Let's go speech. Yeah.
What is it?
A couple of people mocking me, though, you know, for being being left in charge of a microphone unattended. It's not fair, is it?
Ah, well, suck it up. If anybody's wanting a link, then by all means. Again, anybody who's looking for a link, it's nocurve@gmx.com. And if you want the phone number to message or phone, it's 07393654544. And anybody who I've left out who's been taking part in any activism or sharing anything, you know, I appreciate everything that people are up to. I apologise that I can't remember everybody, and I don't have time, and I don't have the will or desire to sit and watch any videos anymore. You know, especially when the weather's good. You know, I want to get active, and I've got other things to be getting up to. So, and again, you know, it's really not a popularity contest, this, and it shouldn't be. And anybody who's getting involved in that kind of side of it, in regards to being popular, they need to give themselves a shake.
Well, the link's gone out to Martin. It doesn't seem like he's there now. And you've got somebody else who I don't have a title from. I've got an abstract email address. So the link is going out now to Wade.
Cool. So hello everybody who's in chat. Where am I? I'm not at the bottom. I'll just come in here. Can't see Dale, just the stripes on his top. I need a home in. The light is on. Sam Addy, man is a spiritual being, even though identified with the body mind. Well, we may very well be souls trapped within a machine. It might be a duality type scenario we're experiencing. I don't know. You know, and nobody knows. And that for me was eye-opening, especially when you get involved in mind-body philosophy. You realise that nobody has a fucking clue. You know, the general population, even some of these people who are looked at as great philosophers, they've not got a fucking clue. Right? They're just trying to, you know, make sense of what's going on. Why are we even conscious? Again, I have the burning questions the same as everybody else, but I know the order that we need to take. The order we need to take is finding out where we are first. Brandon Cook, sun and moon no more than a handspan apart in my sky at the moment. Adam Ireland, you eco warrior Dale. Shane Smith. Was Can. Fly Earth Dave, why has Martin got a problem with Dale? Is it something I missed in the past? No. It's people not understanding what's going on and people losing themselves to their ego. And it becoming about popularity, and it's, you know, my fans thing when I'm getting a phone call here. Hello? Oh. Whoever that was that phoned, I just answered and you've hung up. Well, I usually enjoy your shows and they have done a great job on regrounding me on this flat earth reality. Thanks for that. However, in the last half hour in the chat, it's been a load of cunts being racist against gingers, seemingly prompted by your mentioning other pawns and races and then suggesting psychopathy may be more prominent in gingers. Find out, because I don't know of any certain
Welcome. This is the Abatur of God. I am here to convert dogmatic flat earth sophism trolls back to the visible God Helios. All hail Ra. Anyway, guys, this guy doesn't seem to know where he is. He says he doesn't know where he is, so I'll go ahead and try to help him. Again, he seems to be senile or something. He's lost or wherever. I don't know. But he seems as though, it seems like he thinks that there's some kind of giant conspiracy here about the shape of the Earth. And it's kind of unfortunate because really we've had this figured out way before NASA, hundreds and hundreds of years before NASA. And a lot of it has to do with, the window to the universe, which is the celestial sphere. It's very obvious. I mean, but that's okay. Dell can be a clown and continue on this journey of ignorance and stupidity and whatever. But Dell, he says that he's been in this for 2 years, but his first Flare Earth video was like a year ago, and his first hangout was like 4 months ago. So I don't know if he's lost as well as like time dilated or something. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, these are 3 observations that any flat earther can do. Dell can even do it, and it becomes very obvious once you cross hemispheres what's going on here. Just absolutely does not work on any kind of flat Earth conception at all. But the angular size of the sun and the moon, as well as the moonrise and the moon set, sunrise, sunset, these are good actually inclinations that the Earth is spherical because they go throughout our sky, do not change in angular skies throughout the whole day, throughout the whole night, and then they set from bottom up within 5 to 10 minutes. So you guys can say, oh, it's the opaque moisture deck, or there's an invisible layer of, rafflecopters or whatever. I mean, whatever, dude. But, you got some splaining to do. Okay, so now we have 2 celestial points as far as the celestial sphere goes. There is a north and a south, and there are arc star trails at the equator. Okay, this is exactly what we'd expect to see on a sphere through our windows to the universe. Okay, it doesn't really matter the composition, as this guy tries to lead you on to believe that you have to know the composition or whatever. You don't. Okay, because we're making observations on the actual the movements of the heavenly bodies. Okay. And then there's another thing called obstruction. Now we can go and see this pretty much anywhere if you'd like. Chicago skyline is a great example. Toronto skyline, even a mountain from afar on top of another mountain. Hundreds of miles, people can, like 150 miles, longest line of sight photography. You can look that up, and you can see that a lot of it's being obstructed. So if it was atmospheric conditions or whatever, swells and waves or whatever, we would expect to see that with the stars and the moon and the sun when it's on the horizon as well. We sure don't see that. We can also track the ISS and track its speed and distance. I don't think many flat earthers want to do that because they think it's fake, even though we can see it. These things are not up for debate. They're fact. So, Dell, you're going to have to fit this into your flat earth pipe dream somehow. I'm not really sure how you're going to do it, but whatever. So, some of the problems with the flat earth is that the sun would have to travel twice as fast, twice the distance as well in the southern hemisphere summer as opposed to the northern hemisphere summer. The flat earth actually explains this as a record player. So, yeah, that's very scientific there, Dell. Even though we do not observe this in any way, we don't see the analemma. Yeah, we see a very small angular size change in the sun, but we don't see it moving twice as fast, guys, because the southern hemisphere countries would have like fucking 7-hour days. Okay, just very simple stuff. The flat Earth cannot explain the 2 celestial poles. Hey, Martin, I'm gonna have to remove you because I'm talking right now. Sorry, buddy. They cannot explain the 2 celestial poles at all, and they will not even touch it. Okay. The flat Earth ad hocs the atmospheric conditions, like I said before, with the obstructions. Very good evidence for a sphere, or at least curvature, which you guys are like, where's the curvature? Where's it? I don't know where it is. Anyway, the flat Earth cannot even explain the sunrise, sunset, or moonrise or moonset. Okay, this is very simple. It happens every day. We can all observe this. All right. Let's see. Most flat Earth